Hey everybody, and welcome to a very special edition of Comics Should Smell Good. It's a holiday edition. The comics are smelling so good, it's like a Thanksgiving feast. And happy Thanksgiving, by the way. There are no turkeys here.
Oh man, that's like the only good thing about Thanksgiving.
Only cranberry.
Maybe some jive turkey.
There you go.
Okay, I'll take
Jive
the food is
turkeys.
all I'm concerned with this particular holiday.
Lots of new comics, and we're going to start it with you, Mr. Morgan. You have some good
Me?
stuff. Yes.
You have some comics about food?
Well, you know, a lot of food actually comes from animals, and I have a very animal-heavy comic book here.
Okay.
This is issue 11 of the Kamandi Challenge, the penultimate issue. Only one more left in this tribute to one of Jack Kirby's most enduring creations, at least for DC. You know, there are all those superheroes that are kind of in the movies and junk at the other company, but we're not talking about those right now.
No, those don't count.
Because this is a very, very special issue of Kamandi Challenge, drawn by none other than Walt Simonson. Yes, that Walt Simonson, who the new Thor movie basically owes everything to. This Walt Simonson who decided to be like, oh, you know what Kamandi needs? He needs a freaking jetpack. We got Jetpack Kamandi versus what appears to be Jetpack Street Sharks, which might make them Sky Sharks. I don't know.
I feel
either
like
way,
there's been Sky Sharks.
it's pretty cool. Yeah, that sounds like a cartoon or something.
It does.
It sounds good.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we got those.
Next, Doctor.
I have a comic with decidedly less animals in it. Dr. Radar from Titan Press with their Statics imprint, which is bringing over more new-to-us European stuff. And this is written by Noel Smsolo and art by Bezian. And this is a really scratchy kind of noir-looking book here that is got. It feels very French, but is got. I don't know. It's very surreal, kind of. Bizarre, a little bit along the lines of, say, like the pulp adventure stuff that Francesco Francavilla is doing, who also did another cover. But all of the static stuff has been pretty cool. At the very least, it's been fun art, and it's been something unique on the rack. The Beautiful Death has been one of them, as well as the Hercules book, which has been coming out from Titan. So I'm excited to see another new edition from the Statics Press imprint.
Hey, my first pick of the week is Thanos 13, The Marvel Legacy Continues. And there's a whole new creative team on the Thanos book. Donnie Cates, who you know from the Image books, God Country, and Redneck. We actually have a new issue of Redneck also this week. But he is teaming up with Jeff Shaw, who does some amazing art. I mean, I love this guy's art. Really it is incredible. But basically, it's two words that no one in Marvel really wants to hear except Thanos, and that's Thanos wins. So what does that mean? Well, it's going to have, they're going to actually to the Chitauri homeworld. For those of you movie fans, those are the aliens from the first Avengers movie, and we've seen him in all kinds of cool stuff. But he's on the Chitauri homeworld. That's a hard thing to say.
It is.
There's lots of other cool alien stuff, and basically, I don't want to give it away, but basically Thanos does win. So I bet you're going to come in to find out how and why he wins and what it means for Marvel Legacy. Da-da-da-da.
I can't personally believe that you overlooked the Space Ghost Rider in that issue, but you know what?
That's true.
I'll let you slide. You're a bit out of touch with what's really cool.
Exactly.
And that is Hellfire, apparently, because we also have another Jack Kirby creation getting a new miniseries here, The Demon. This is The Demon Hell is Earth #1. Follows Jason Blood, who apparently is no longer the socialite demonologist that he was in the original Kirby stuff that I've personally been reading the last few months. No, he's a washed-up alcoholic who is living in the middle of the desert and constantly haunted by visions of his demonic alter ego.
Is that what happened when what was he in, Demon Knights, where they were all in that friggin' Camelot?
Yeah, even that D&D comic that they let DC publish?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, no, he's fallen on hard times here, tried to separate himself from the demon, but there are, of course, hellish forces that are pushing him back towards his old ways. Some of them being nuclear forces, apparently. There's a lot going down in here.
There is a lot going on.
Also featuring an appearance by Madame Zanadu, who I thought I saw at the end of that Batman Who Laughs book, but I'm hoping that was someone else, because she was not doing good. This is by the team of... Well, help if I actually knew who this was by, wouldn't it?
It's beautiful art.
I know it's drawn by Brad Walker, who is doing the Aquaman relaunch with DC Rebirth. But it's written by Andrew Constant, who I have never read anything by in my life. But this seems to be a very solid debut, at least in my eyes.
Cool. New Demon's always good. And I have from local publisher Fantagraphics, who has delved back into the world of single issues. This is Happy Hour in America by Tim Lane, who did years ago the Hotwire comics, which were really cool. This guy's got a very realistic style that reminds me a bit of Charles Burns, maybe a little less inky, a little more pen. But this has got selections from the collected works of Steve McQueen, which is pretty cool. So there's a lot of badass kind of rebel without a cause Steve McQueen-ness going on in here. And also apparently Steve McQueen has vanished, and this dude with a most monstrous beard is attempting to find out what happened to Steve McQueen. In fact, the hairdos in this comic are quite serious. This woman has the most serious waitress hair that I've ever seen in my life. Anyway, this is very, very cool, and it's got this great, Steve McQueen jumping into a plate glass window with a friggin'
Yeah, that's pretty sweet.
Motorcycle.
The lettering alone is mind-blowing.
Yeah, Kid McQueen, definitely some Will Eisner style lettering here. But this is really, really nice. Great cover here. Very, very nice package from Fantagraphics, as you would always expect.
My next pick is Action Comics 992. This is the aftermath of the Oz Effect. I gotta say, between Action Comics and Superman, I am really loving, ever since Superman, I don't think I've read this much and been this passionate in a long time about Superman. I really love it. This is Dan Jurgens with a little assist from Rob Williams and art by Will Conrad. This picks up after the whole thing in the Oz Effect, where we had the revelation of Jor-El, and Jor-El trying to show Kal-El that he should not be on Earth. And then, I'm not even going to tell you the whole manipulation because it's tied to a really, really big book you may have heard a little bit about. This gentleman here is going to talk about it coming up. I won't spoil it.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Exactly.
I don't read these things.
Exactly. But really epic, and Superman Superman goes to kind of his friends in the Justice League for advice after really momentous, really makes him think, and he comes to a pretty major decision that could have a big impact on the DC universe. We'll see what happens. But there's even a bigger thing happening. And you're going to tease that to the very end.
I was going to hold that for last, but there's also a big thing happening over at Marvel. Jeez, the Legacy imprint is still, that's a thing, right?
It's happening.
Yeah, they've been bringing back, along with the Legacy numbering for their main titles, they've also been bringing back some smaller characters for one-shots. And here we have Silver Sable and the Wild Pack. #1, although I don't think the Wild Pack actually shows up here because, as far as I can tell, it's just her going like all Metal Gear Solid on a boat full of neo-Nazis. Seriously, this is basically the beginning of Captain America Winter Soldier, where he's like jumping onto the boat and like killing people, and he fights George St. Pierre, except instead of George St. Pierre, it's a bunch of like totally jacked Nazi women. It's really, really kind of awesome. This is written by Krista Faust and drawn by Paulo Sequeira and Jose Luis. And honestly, probably the coolest that Silver Sable has ever looked. Not counting Todd McFarlane. I mean, the 80s hair, you just can't really.
Though Stuart Immonen did a really good Silver Sable in the recent Spider-Man, which has been really cool.
True.
She and Peter teamed up.
Yeah.
So, my next pick is a glorious, glorious thing that I'm very excited to have. Battle Angel Alita hardcover. For the first time, published in America in the right-to-left format with the original sound effects, which is a huge thing in manga. This is Yukito Kishiro's cyberpunk classic that often gets overlooked because it's been out of print for 10 years, and it's not quite, spoken of in the same levels as, say, like Ghost in the Shell or Akira, though it should be. It's certainly more just probably because of availability. This has been in movie development hell for like 15 years.
Thanks,
James Cameron has been trying to make a Battle Angel movie, but then he decided that needed to make 8 Avatar movies, which, dear God, like, stop, please.
I'll believe that when we see like one more Avatar movie.
Me too. Apparently they're filming all in the next whatever at once. I don't pretend to know.
I see you.
But regardless, This is known as Gundam in Japan, and it's about a young girl, who's lost her memory and is a cyborg and washes up in basically the dredge of this junkyard planet where this doctor named Ito, who is a cyborg doctor, finds her remnants and rebuilds her a new body, and thus begins her, search for who she is, which is takes quite a while, actually. But this is really, really quite amazing. The battle scenes in this are super badass. There's a really great whole section where she becomes a motorball sport participant, which is really cool. But there's just absolutely glorious art and truly, truly a must-have for anybody who is a manga fan or fan of cyberpunk.
Must
have.
Hey, my next one is Generation X number 9. What's cool about this is, of course, Jubilee teaching a bunch of kids. They're kind of the outcasts among the outcasts, misfits among the misfits. Probably not since Maggot has there been a weirder powers than iBoy, Nature Girl, but there's also some really cool ones.
There's Sammy the Fish Boy.
Nature Girl. Yeah, Sammy the Fish Boy. We need to bring him back.
I love him.
I love Sammy Fish Boy. But this is also kind of a reunion of the original Generation X because Chamber and now Husk have come back to the side of Jubilee to solve a big mystery because the Xavier Institute in Central Park, there's been some killings and murders going on, all connected to another M. Monet and in plate. Plus, one of the coolest things in the modern era that anyone ever did was what Jason Aaron decided to do with Krakoa. Well, Krakoa is back. If you're a fan of the Jason era Krakoa, he's back in a big way in the big storyline. This is Christina Strain and Amilcar Pina. And this is setting up to even more original Generation X teaming up with the new Generation X. How many generations can I say that?
Say generation again, man.
It's a legacy thing, I guess.
It's a legacy thing.
Yeah, and we are speaking no more of legacy things because it's time for the big DC.
The biggest thing ever.
Yeah, I mean, I guess.
The official sequel to Watchmen is pretty big, man. That's pretty big.
What about the official prequel, man? Before Watchmen was pretty cool, right?
No, that didn't count.
Yeah, anyways, it's Doomsday Clock. Look at that. It's Superman. It's Dr. Manhattan. They're on the cover of the same comic. And it's actually published by DC.
Holy shit.
Whoa. Turns out, it's pretty cool. I've read the first issue already because that's just how I do it. Jeff Johns and Gary Frank have managed to make something that does not feel like a cheap cash-in. Thank God. Avoiding the aforementioned before Watchmen situation.
Right.
It's a very slow burn first issue. There's a good, about 30 years between when we last saw this world and now. So there's a lot to fill in. It's 12 whole issues of beautiful Gary Frank art, so they can take their time with the story, thank God. It's not going to be, we're going to kind of make some things happen here, then nothing for 6 issues, and then everything happens in the last one. No, we have a whole 12 issues, a year of monthly comics. Wow.
Actually,
what an idea.
Wow.
Right?
Like once a month, like they used to be.
Yeah. And in case anybody was mad, and lots of nerds were, about Rorschach showing up in that preview they released, don't worry, it's not the same guy. Although, when they find out who he is, people might be twice as pissed. Who knows? Nerds are weird like that.
It's evil Captain America. He hopped universes.
Oh my God!
He's gonna rip off his freaking coat. He's gonna have the
like
giant Hydra logo.
God.
Ozymandias is gonna crap himself. He's gonna be like, spoilers. Anyway, my final book from the King, who we talked about a bunch already. This is the next in DC's really nice collections of his very seminal DC work, though they kind of mess it up on the Fourth World. I gotta mention that. Challengers of the Unknown, which is proof that Jack Kirby created the Fantastic Four, and that Stan Lee came in after and added some details.
He put a big 4 on their chest.
He put a big 4 on their chest.
Stan's not the most for subtlety.
No, that's not. But it features 4 people who routinely basically taunt death. They get into really, really, really bad and dangerous situations. They have no powers. They're not like crazy rich like Batman, but they got some funding. But they deal with all sorts of insane like 50s sci-fi DC concepts, which is cool, which was in the 50s in DC. They just all sorts of weird like giant monsters and aliens and, you know, bubble demon things that are in here, which are really weird. But these guys fought them all, and it's got a little bit of like a planetary vibe where they have to kind of go find like the weirdness that's out there, but then usually it turns bad and they have to stop it. But Kirby drew all of these with inks on about half of them by Wally Wood, which just adds this huge, beautiful kind of EC sci-fi feel and this real like sophistication to this era of the DC stuff. The writer on these, there were a couple of different writers. Initially, it was Dave Wood who did the showcase stories, and then Kirby wrote the rest of these as he was doing. He's probably just like, I can do it better, and he could. So yeah, this is glorious paper, very very nice remastered colors. So if you've been digging the Demon collection that they put out, or the Mr. Miracle, or if you didn't get those, shame on you. Get those and these.
And if you're reading DC Metal. These are the originals, because DC Metal, they're a big part of that big gigantic storyline.
Oh, right.
And there's going to be a new Challenge of the Unknown series, so this is the original core stuff that started it all.
Yeah, and in the Fantastic Four, they only lived in a building. The Challengers, they had a mountain, an entire mountain that is in the middle of Gotham right now.
Yeah. My final pick is X-Men Gold, and I mean, just Ken Lashley, I mean, that's it's enough for the cover.
Yeah. Ken Lashley.
I mean,
so
I love
badass.
you, Ken Lashley. I like I don't know if these are the official new costumes, but I really like them. I don't know who these people are, but I don't care. Ken Lashley's doing it. Mark Guggenheim.
You don't know who those people are. You're the X-Men guy.
I've never heard. They're not.
Okay, I don't know who the bald guy is.
They're not on the current team.
Is that Armor?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay, well.
Those are cool costumes.
I mean, if you read the comic, you would know.
I kind of know what's up to this point. I didn't want to be spoiled, but I do know that this kind of picks up what Mark Guggenheim has been doing ever since Resurrection started, with the whole like the weird Brotherhood of Evil Mutants, and there's a fake alien in there. It kind of ties into all that and all the stuff that's been going down.
There was a real alien. There was a fake mutant.
There you go. This is why we have Morgan here.
I don't even read that book, dude.
Eclipse it. I just said it wrong. Like I said, Avengers versus Inhumans when I should have been saying IVA for you.
See, it really comes out that Will just looks at the pictures.
I just look at the pictures.
You've never actually read an X-Men comic.
Did you actually get a certificate of professorship, or
It's from somewhere in the Caribbean. I don't know. It's like it's a medical school somewhere down there. Anyway, apologize for that. Anyway.
Yeah.
It's Ken Lashley. It's X-Men in space in the negative zone. And there you go. Happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
If you're here, if you're in downtown for the parades and shopping, come in here because I just did a bunch of stuff.
Black Friday sale.
Yeah.
Which has been put up on the website now. The details are up there. But also, you probably have heard the news. We are unfortunately closing after 42 years, which is very, very long run. It's just funds have dried up, and we are unfortunately, facing the barrel of the gun there. So January 28th will be our last day. We will have new stuff up until the 24th. But please help us, not have to carry a lot of crap out of here. I don't want to carry stuff. Morgan doesn't want to carry stuff.
I just moved. My back's shot.
Exactly. None of us want to carry anything. So please come in, get some stuff. Do some early Christmas shopping, take advantage of the sale, and come in here and soak in that new comic smell while you still can, because you know it's going to be missed. So as always, thank you for watching, and we'll see you next Wednesday.